Alright, it's neat. You doing them, Robert?
Yeah, man.
And so how do you pronounce your name?
Edo.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
But this is great, man. So, and you're doing a K-series swap? Is that what I'm under the impression?
The motor was supposed to be done like 2 weeks ago, but they cracked the cylinder boring it.
Oh wow.
I guess there was like internal crack already.
Mhm.
That's why a couple of days ago, last week, I was looking for a new block.
Uh-oh.
So
And this was just a K20?
No, 24.
Oh,
24.
awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 14 to 1 compression, like a crazy head from Joe Alanis. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
know
yeah.
him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's out
He's
here
my
in...
sponsor too. Yeah, he's down here.
Oh, great.
AEM, Motul, Synchrotech. The guys always fix my toe stuff. Coney, Willwood. What else? I'm missing a few guys that are helping me.
Oh, that's great.
Since 2001. That's when I bought
Wow.
it from auction to be a race car. But it's been developed like every year, like new stuff, bigger stuff. Like same welded the chassis a few years ago. Big brakes. The brakes are so good, it's cracking the chassis.
Yeah. That's crazy.
See these parts? Bottom willow, and I got hooked from there. Road racing.
What was he racing then?
CRX. Got a CRX.
And this was in 2000?
2000, or beginning of 2000, yeah, end of 2000 or beginning of 2001. And then I went my second track day at Willow Springs, the fast track, almost wrecked it. So I came back and bought this thing from the auction.
Why did you want a Honda?
Cheaper.
Than the Eclipse? Just
Yeah.
to build, or?
To build, run, if you wreck it, just throw it away.
So, like how long did you run on the stock engine?
On the Eclipse?
On this one?
No, this thing, as soon as I got it, I did a few events, HPD events.
Uh-huh.
We tore it down. I did the SCCA school, got my race license, and did about 3 years of ACCA.
Nice.
First year was just for fun.
This was the stock engine?
Yeah, stock engine.
Okay.
And then we rebuilt the stock engine to ITA specs. I got a runner-up in a championship in 2003.
Nice.
And then in 2004 we started running a Honda Challenge with NASA. And I'm the 2004, 5, 6, 8 champion. And then the last 2 years I was also a NASA Moto IQ champion.
Nice. And so who was your first sponsor?
My first sponsor, Honda.
What they sponsored you the computer?
Yeah, they gave me a computer.
And that you used on your stock engine? Just retuned your stock motor? Or?
About, last year we used Honda, and then AEM started helping us.
Can you hold this door open?
Right now I have the AEM Infinity computer is gonna go in the car.
The Infinity, nice. That's
Yeah.
brand new too, man.
Oh,
Who's gonna be tuning that?
yeah. My tuner, Turbo Joe, he's on the car right there.
Yeah.
He's been tuning all my cars and all my.
Wow. Did he put another section?
No, he pulled everything into place
Wow.
and just replaced this
Of
one.
course. Wow.
But I've crashed after that too. So
That's great.
one day I'll probably just cut the front and replace it.
All right. So then we'll
Some
start
pipes and stuff.
with. I mean, has the cable been giving you some issues? Is that why you're ready to upgrade, or?
The thing is with the K-swap, I can't use the cable. So I don't want to put one of those like remote hydraulic things with the cable.
Okay.
I've seen a bunch of guys break their cables at the track.
They keep
Yeah.
spares with them,
Oh, yeah.
but you already lost.
I take a spare too, but mine never broke.
Okay, so this one's going to be a little challenging since we can't move the pedal assembly from the vehicle. The reason we can't do it is because you got some other stuff going along in here, that some top secret stuff we won't talk about just yet. So I'm going to attempt to install it. We've already removed the lower sensor here, which is one of the parts that we're going to need to remove to install our cable to hydro conversion, along with the neutral safety switch up here, which is no longer in use. Our conversion is a bolt-on unit, so this should be relatively easy given the idea that there's enough space in here for you to work with. You might be able to pull this off yourself. I suggest being able to pull the pedal assembly out is your best option. Obviously in this case we're in a different scenario. I'm working on this pivot right here, and this bolt and nut need to be removed because this is also a retainer for a conversion bracket. This may require 2 tools on either side to remove this nut and the stud from the brake lever. Now we don't need to actually remove the stud from the brake pedal, but we do need to at least move this nut, and we'll get back to that as we move
Okay,
forward.
so we're going to remove this nut here. We do need this nut removed so that we can get the bracket on, and we'll be able to explain how that works a little bit more. But I do suggest removing the assembly from the vehicle, because here in a few seconds I'll have Ryan back up, and you can see how uncomfortable I am in the position that I am. And we're just not removing the pedal assembly for some top secret reasons that he's got going on here that is proprietary to his winning success. So we're still attempting this install with the pedal assembly in place.
This is a mobile install. It's not something we normally do, but we're out here in Los Angeles working with Edo on his 92 Integra. It's a NASA in-factory, full-sponsored road race car, and he's going K-Series. Like I explained before, he's got some interesting stuff going on in his pedal assembly that not a whole lot of people knows about, and so I'm going to keep that under wraps. But because this is a very unique install, we're going to do some preparation that would normally not necessarily recommend, but in this case we are. What I'm doing is prepping the pedal assembly with the master cylinder prior to actually installing it on the pedal assembly, which is something I actually tell you not to do. But with our new billet clevis, we were able to get the master cylinder directly into our bracketry. We're going to add our hardware that we obviously provide with the cable to hydro conversion, and we're going to prep this to go onto the pedal assembly. Now, it's really important to get the trajectory of the push rod correct so that we don't prematurely wear out the bore of the cylinder. I've had some customers of you that had some issues with that, but of course I take care of you as far as any warranty issues. But you don't want to have to do this install over and over again. Even if you do have a warranty, you just don't want to have to deal with having to take this back out, because it's such a pain in the butt. And of course you see how twisted I was inside the chassis. Okay, cut that. With our new conversions, all our master cylinders that we use now are going to be the new style with the banjo. The reason we're using this over the MPT is because we have 360 degrees clocking, which means that we can point this in any direction that we need. What happens with the MPT is that sometimes when you're tightening it down, it's going to be pointing the wrong direction if you're using a 90-degree fitting. In this situation, we actually need the fitting to be pointing out 90 degrees because of the distance we have between all the metal pieces underneath the dashboard. So Wilwood came out with the banjo, which is a 3/8 by 24 fitting, which you can use a straight fitting or a banjo fitting like this. We're going to point the fitting towards the passenger side, which is exactly the way we need, and it's infinite, but this is exactly where we need it to go. This is our DA cable to hydro conversion bracket with the master cylinder already installed on the bracket. I don't necessarily recommend doing it this way. In this case, because we're working on Edo's race car, we're having to do it this way. So as you can see, our billet clevis here, it's already installed on the master cylinder with our trajectory washers that is going to go allow us to bolt it directly to the clutch hook without needing any modifications. And it's a bolt-on deal here, so what we're going to do with, I'm just kind of eyeballing it right now, trying to get it in the proper position, and I'm going to try to align the clevis with the hook. Now what the washers do is it aligns the push rod into a straight angle going into the bore of the piston, or into the bore of the cylinder. This is really difficult, man. I think all that stuff's going to be edited out, all the voice, because I don't really know what I'm doing right now. Okay, hold on, here we go. Alright, we're right now. Hold on, let me see if I can get one started. Oh, good lord. Yeah, I'm going to have to be right where you were.
Like longer arms.
Something. Oh yeah, there we go. Here's that one. The top one's going to be interesting. Does it at least look cool? Alright, this is the reservoir that we chose to use for this chassis, both EF and DAs. It's perfect angle, If you hang it right above the factory cable hole, you can actually retain the cable grommet, as you can see here that we ran through. Ito's got some other components coming out of here, but essentially what we're showing is that it's going to run through the same hole. There's not going to be any drilling involved as far as getting that to run through into the master cylinder. We're going to go inside the master cylinder. You're going to see the direct shot that this line's going to come through. All you're going to have to do here is add your own hole if there's not one already in place, and then your reservoir is completely mounted and ready to be filled with fluid. Finishing washers, bulkhead nut, and finishing washer that is going to close off. Your reservoir mounted, you're going to notice here that you have extra length of hose here. This is going to be cut to fit. So wherever you need to mount your reservoir, we give you 2 feet of length to work with. In this situation, you can see we have just enough here. We're going to shorten it about 8 to 10 inches here. You can use any type of cutting devices, so we're going to use a set of dikes. We're going to measure twice, cut once. Our hose is going to come with some hose clamps to make it a modular finish fit. This hose will actually fit directly. We're going to put the clamp on here and it'll fit directly into the nozzle right here on the end of the Wilwood. This nozzle has already been tightened, and you want to make sure it's tightened before you put this in. It's going to be really difficult to get to once it's installed.